Well, hello, this is Rose RCG Creations. How you doing? We're bringing you today, we're going to be making pumpkin cookies. I'm using my old trusty Betty Crocker cookbook. I will put the description in the, I will put the recipe in the description box with all the ingredients. And the first part, I'm going to add to the end of this video another set of recipes that I got offline from a friend of mine. She said this is how she made them, but I don't know what happened because there's 3 ingredients: oats, maple syrup, and pumpkin puree. Or you could do sweet potato, either one, didn't matter. And there's nothing wrong with it. This is not expired. Neither is the maple syrup, neither is the oatmeal. But it didn't taste good at all. It was very, very, very bland. But there was only the 3 ingredients, and that was it. So it was like, oh, I did add some vanilla. I'm wondering if the glycerin vanilla has anything to do with it versus the rum, the vanilla made with rum, because this is my first time using the glycerin vanilla, and maybe that has something to do. But it was one-fourth of a teaspoon, so it wasn't very much. But I don't know. So anyway, these cookies are for a party I'm going to tomorrow, so I gotta hurry and get them made. So go back to my old trusty Betty Crocker cookbooks. So I've got in here 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of shortening. And I'm not going to do the orange peel because I don't have any. I had some. It was in the freezer. But then when we lost power for a week, I lost it. Okay, so I had a spoon. Oh. I'll just use my little spatula. So it just says mix it all up. So let's just mix this up. Mix the sugar in the pumpkin. Oh, I gotta do the pumpkin. Mix the sugar in the pumpkin. It only asks for 1 cup of pumpkin, or actually this is pumpkin because I changed it to pumpkin from sweet potato. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never seen a can of sweet potato in the grocery store, but then I've never looked for it either. So that doesn't mean anything. I just didn't know they did it. I know that they do sweet potato, but not pumpkin. And hopefully this time next year, we'll be using our fresh from the garden pumpkins that I'm going to be growing. So let's get all that in there and just stir this up. This is when you really want to make sure everything gets incorporated. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm in frame. Yeah, I am. Okay, make sure it's all incorporated. I don't have my oven on because I already had it preheated from the first batch of cookies that did not turn out good. But you'll see it in this video. It'll be at the end. I've made these cookies before and I know they're good. And because of the pumpkin puree, they're soft. They're not going to be hard. And hubby likes soft cookies. I like both. So to me, one way or the other didn't really matter. That hurts my wrist. I just want to make sure that that shortening is pretty much mixed up pretty darn well. I can see some big old white chunks. And what I'm doing is I'm spreading the spatula over the side of the bowl. So incorporating the shortening with the pumpkin. Because this, I do know from what I've been learning for the last 2 years of learning how to cook and bake, is mixing everything thoroughly is a big item in having a good result with your ending product. So take a little bit extra time. Don't rush yourself. And make sure that you're mixing everything pretty well. If you hear hubby, he's in the kitchen. He's making some hard-boiled eggs for a party he's going to at his job tomorrow. He makes really good hard-boiled eggs. But he also makes some that are spicy, and it's like, no, too much for me. Okay, I think that's about done. Look at that. Pretty much all mixed up. Alright, so this pumpkin, the sugar, the pumpkin, and the shortening is in here. Now we're going to stir in the flour. It's going to ask for 2 cups of flour, and I'm using gluten-free baking flour. 2 cups. Let's do this out of the way. Let's see if I can do this without spilling. Oh, I don't have my little... I'll just use this. I had a little scooper in here, but it's not here now. I need 2 cups of this. I got some more flour in the garage refrigerator, so I'm not too worried if I don't have enough, but I'm pretty sure I have enough for today. Here. I don't want to make too much of a spill. One of my friends requests to have stuff made gluten-free so she can enjoy the meal. Okay, so that's 1 scoop. Now let's get 2 scoops. 2 cups. I'm sorry, not 2 scoops, 2 cups. Okay. Oh, itchy nose, itchy nose. I learned that from another lady. That's what she does. Instead of just tapping it, she taps it in the bowl that she's mixing in. Okay. I'm pretty much thinking I'm okay with this. There's just a tad too much. Okay, that takes care of that flour. Okay, we're going to stir in the flour, the baking powder. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. Baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, baking soda. Move that out of the way. Okay, then next, baking powder, flour, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon. 1 teaspoon is cinnamon. Where to put less? I know I brought it. Cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Did you know, if you have a garden, if you put cinnamon around your garden bed, don't let it touch the flowers or the leaves, it keeps the ants away. I didn't know that. I'm going to try to do that next, when the spring comes, when the ants start coming out from their winter, what do they, hibernate in the wintertime when they go down to the ground. Oh, my nose is itching up a storm. Okay, and then salt, it asks for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm using our pink Himalayan salt. And this does get hard from the moisture. We're in South Texas here, so it gets pretty moist here. Okay. And I think that's all the ingredients. I'm not going to do raisins because I don't do raisins. Hubby does, but I'll do a batch separately with the raisins. And chopped nuts. He doesn't like nuts. I love nuts, so that'll be another batch for me. He's looking at me. First time we've had to both be in the kitchen at the same time. So he's in the formal dining room and I'm here. Okay. Now we're just going to stir this together. Bake until light brown, 8 to 10 minutes. So let me go turn my oven on because this is about ready. Ooh! Let me show you the eggs. His hard-boiled eggs that he made. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. Do I get one now? No. I'm going to wait because I haven't had supper yet, so I'm going to wait. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I got to go turn the oven on. Bear with me right quick. Let me turn the oven on. Bake 375. Start. I'm removing the old cookies that were no good. It turned out terrible. Let me get the new cookies. I gotta get myself some parchment paper because I don't like to bake cookies and stuff like that on I like to use parchment because I hate scribbing cookie sheets. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me just get this. Oh, just finished the last of that roll. Turned out perfect. Okay, so that one's done. No, leave it over there. I'm using it for the video. Leave it over there. He doesn't want to be in the video. He's talking to me. Okay, so let's continue mixing this up. The oven's on to preheat. Yeah, 375. I want to make sure I got the right temperature. Let me just mix these up. They're not going to be overly loose because of the pumpkin and the flour. But I just want to make sure it all gets mixed up pretty good. And you always want to twist and then go from the center. Cause see that middle there? Do you see the middle there? There's flour in the middle there. Do you see that? You always want to dig into the bottom center along with your sides to make sure that everything gets mixed up. Because when you're scooping these out to put on your cookie sheet, you may get some that doesn't have a combined mixture of everything. And that's not going to taste too good. You may get a bunch of flour, a bunch of shortening, a bunch of sugar. A bunch of sugar wouldn't be too bad. But a bunch of shortening, ugh. Okay. Yeah, with the shortening. Oops. Okay, I think we're pretty much ready to. Whoop! Look, see that? There was a batch of white flour there that didn't get mixed up. Put that back in there. I spilt it. Okay, let me finish mixing this up. This part didn't get mixed up. And then we'll be about ready to roll. Put this, wipe down my table. And then I can put my cookie sheet over here. Let me get all my mess over there. To give myself room. I don't know if you're like me, but I put little flags and tapes on my cookbooks for recipes and stuff.
Nerd.
Did you hear him? He called me a nerd. It's just easy. It's easy. He's giggling. He's laughing. He called me a nerd. I like stuff that, y'all know me, I like stuff done yesterday. So I don't want to have to sit there and hunt and look for something. Especially when I make it over and over and over. Okay, let's get the cookie sheet. And I'm hoping we should have enough. I may need some more. Honey, will you go get me some more parchment paper? It's in the hot closet. Okay. And this is clean. Let's get this out of the way. Let's move all this out of the way there. I gotta move this to give myself room. Yeah, I need some more. Yep. So actually, you know what? I may not. We'll need some anyway for the kitchen. But you know what? These are cookies. They're not gonna spread. They're gonna spread some, but not a whole lot. Okay, let's get the scooper. And I'm using my small. I have 3 different sizes of scoopers, and I'm using my small one. Now, if you want to, you can sprinkle powdered sugar on top of them. I'll probably do that for hubby because he likes that stuff. I don't like them overly sweet. And I forget, did I write on there? If they spread, drop double teaspoon to ungreased, bake until light brown. Remember removing cookie sheet, cool. Spread with light brown glaze. I'm not doing that glaze. If using self-rising, I'll make the baking powder and the soap. Okay, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I'm just going to drop these off with a scoop full, and we'll bring it back. We're going to pop them in the oven, because the oven's about, I think it's ready. No, it's not ready yet. But by the time I get done with this, we will. And you can leave them whole like this, or you can pat it down a little bit, however you want to do it. I'm going to do some of each, and then you can see that when we come back. We'll bring you back. We'll do the taste test. Okay, we are back. Cookies are done. I will tell you, do yourself a favor. These are the ones that I did not squeeze. They're hot. That I did not squeeze. And let me bring you, here's one that I did earlier. It didn't cook on the inside. So, FYI, pat them down. Just like, see how much flatter these are compared to these? See the difference between those two? But here is one that did make it. And we're going to do the taste test. But I wanted to show you they did cook all the way through. Let me get my broken camcorder up so you can see me. I'm pooped. But they're very chewy. They've got a little bit of a crunch on the outside, not much, but the inside's definitely chewy. Not chewy, it's more like a cake. Cakey, whoops. I'm pooped. Now I wanted to show you, this is that first batch that I made with the oatmeal and pumpkin puree. I used the same can of puree, but these did not turn out good at all. They look exactly like the way they came in. They never got toasty. I even added an extra 10 minutes in baking. It didn't change it one bit. So that's the recipe. I'm still going to download it, the directions, but I would recommend don't use it. Now, as soon as they come out of the oven, you're supposed to put them on a cooling rack right away. Okay, so those are going to cool. Now, let me bring you back down so you can see. Bear with me. Broken tripod. Oh, good. But that'll work. I'll be in frame. So, I'm going to use the same parchment paper that I used to bake them in. This is one of those little tools. You put powdered sugar inside and it twists. And then when you get ready to sprinkle it, see how it comes out? I'm only going to do half of these. Hubby said he wanted some with powdered sugar on it. But they're actually very tasty. Oh man, I'm just dripping sweat. My back is dying. And that's what I'm going to do. And what you do is you twist it, this little, whoops, and then there is the powdered sugar, which this is good, so I'm just going to put it back in my little jar, and I won't be wasting it. So anyway, this is my take on pumpkin cookies. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Well, hello there. This is Rose RCG Creations. How are you doing? We're bringing you today a pumpkin puree cookies, oatmeal cookies. Okay, we've already got in here 1 cup of quick oats. It's asking for 2/3 cup of mashed puree. You can do the fresh, or you can do the jar, whatever you want to do. I'm doing the lazy way and doing out of the can. The holidays here, it's a good price. But next spring, I'll be growing some pumpkins on my own. And hopefully I'll have some fresh pumpkins for next year that came out of my garden. Okay, we need 2/3 cup. That looks pretty darn close enough to me. Alrighty. So we're going to, let's see, you preheat the oven to 350. You're going to line a cookie sheet with parchment paper, which I already did. You lightly spray it with coconut oil. Just set it to the sides over there. And I got my little scooper to scoop out the cookies. If you're doing the fresh sweet potatoes or pumpkin, whichever one you want to use, you would just want to dice it up, cut it into small cubes, and you put it and boil it in water until they're soft, which is roughly about 10-15 minutes. Then you're going to drain them and set them aside for about 10 minutes. Then you're going to mash them up until it makes it into a puree, or you can put it in a blender, whatever you want to do on that part to make it faster, or whatever you want to do. It's your kitchen, your household. Then we're going to measure out 2/3 cup for the dry cookies. Measure 2/3 cup, not less or more, to avoid dry cookies, and stir in a bowl with quick oats and maple syrup. Okay, so I picked this recipe because it was pretty simple, cut and dry. I'm just hoping they turn out good. With the maple syrup in here and this pumpkin puree, they should. Alrighty, and I wanted to have some vanilla. Let's see. The cookie batter should be a bit sticky and thick. If too wet, add more quick oats. If too dry, add more sweet potatoes or pumpkin puree. Then you just want to scoop them out. And then you bake for 15 to 20 minutes until they're golden brown, and then they're good. Okay, so that's easy. Okay, so sweet potato puree, the oats, 1/4 cup of the maple syrup. I just have this maple flavoring. It's like a syrup. It says ask for 1/4 cup of that. And that's the sweetener. Let's get all that goodness out of there. Okay, let me close that up so I don't spill it. Next goes 1 teaspoon of vanilla. 1 teaspoon vanilla. And this is my homemade vanilla. This one is made with vegetable glycerin. And you see how it's really slow? And see how the air bubble in there? Because it's glycerin, not alcohol like rum or vodka. I'll turn this around because if I dribble, I don't want to get it on my label. So 1 teaspoon of extract, and this is vanilla bean extract. Okay. Close that up. Oh, I had a towel. Where's my towel? Let me just use this one. I had a wet towel over here, but I think I put it back in the sink. Okay, now we're just going to mix everything. Pretty much this is it. So there's everything all together. Look at that. This is going to be a quick recipe. My oven's already ready, so just got to mix it up, put it on the cookie sheet, and then bake them, and then we'll be done. So I would say overall, this whole thing takes about 30 minutes. Smells really good. Wish we had smell-o-vision. And then we'll be able to do pop them in the oven, then we'll do our taste test. It said something about the cookie batter should be a bit sticky and thick, which it is. See that? It is sticky and thick. Let's do a quick little taste. Let's see what this thing tastes like. I think those are going to be good. Okay, so we're all done. Scoop 1 tablespoon of batter, lightly grease your hands with coconut oil and roll into a ball. Ooh, roll into a ball. I thought I was just going to use a scooper. The cookie batter should be a bit sticky and thick. If too wet, add more quick oats. If too dry, add more mashed sweet potatoes or pumpkin puree, whichever one you're using. Scoop 1 tablespoon of batter, lightly grease your hands with coconut oil and roll into a ball. Place the cookie ball onto the prepared cookie sheet, flatten with your hands, and repeat it until it have formed. Leave half of them space between each cookie. They won't expand in the oven. Okay. Well, I do need my, well, I might need my little spatula. Let me just get some of this syrup. Yeah, let's get the cookie sheet. And I got my cookie scooper. And I'm spraying. I think this is one of those hand pumps. This is where I use my liquid coconut oil. Oh, I should have took my rings off. Oh well. Then let me go ahead and oil this up. So basically scoop it and then roll it into a ball and then gently roll into a ball. There we go. Did you know that if you wrinkle your parchment paper and then you lay it out, it stays evenly in there, where if you didn't roll it up into a ball, crinkle the paper, it flies all over the place and it's always moving on you. I learned that from one of the other videos I was watching on YouTube. Don't remember who it was that just told me about it, that I saw. Now how far apart do they place them? Flatten with your hands and repeat until formed in. Leave about a half thumb space in between. Okay, that's a little too close. we're good to go there. But you know what? Let me, I don't know what I'm doing here. It says, flatten with your hands and repeat. Okay. So I think that'll work. It says it will not extend very much. Okay. I think this is a pretty good ratio. It wasn't really overly sticky and they weren't overly dry, so follow the recipe to the T and I think you'd be good to go. Okay. I wonder how much, does it say how much it's gonna make? I gotta turn it over, but I can't do it, yeah, because my hands are dirty. So let me finish making these up. I don't want to keep you just watching me doing the same thing over. And then I'll bring you back when we come and do the taste test. When they come out of the oven, we'll bring you back.